I will let you know when I have the answer key for the exam up. It'll probably be next time. But when I get that up, make sure to check that against your exam. I've also updated all of the grades in D2L, so make sure to double check that to make sure everything is correct in there. What have we got coming up? So the Chapter 9, Mastering Chemistry, I think most of you saw the message. That is now due this Wednesday. If you have not yet watched the video, I encourage you to do that. Otherwise, you're going to have a little trouble with the Chapter 9, Mastering Chemistry. So in the announcements, in the news from last time, I posted a link into the content area for the pre-recorded lecture for the remainder of Chapter 9. So make sure to watch the rest of that. It is in 3 parts, I believe. So it'll get to the end of this one, then it should load up the next one. But you can do like all the other videos and do the little menu up here to see the sections. So make sure you finish out quantum mechanical model, electron configurations, and orbital diagrams. You should be able to get those notes completed, and that will give you the information you need to do the mastering chemistry. What I also want to show you is I have now updated all of the content area. So just to keep things organized in here, what I did, after each exam, I sort of clean everything out and put that into Exam 1 materials or Exam 2 materials. So if you're looking for the worksheets and lectures and notes and all that stuff from before Exam 2, that's all going to be in here. Okay? And that just helps keep things clean a little bit. But now in practice worksheets, I have the electron configurations practice worksheet, which you're going to want to print out and do to get proficient at the electron configurations. Same thing with Lewis structures coming up this week and so on. So I'll bring up the Chapter 9 notes here just in a second. We'll see if anybody has any questions. But otherwise, everything you need for those is in that video. So should be able to work on that. We'll be working on Chapter 10 this week, today and next time, as well as in lab. We'll get plenty of practice drawing Lewis structures this week. So the Chapter 10 Mastering Chemistry will be due next Monday. In 2 weeks, our third quiz will be over Chapter 9 and Chapter 10. Okay. So, anybody have any questions about that schedule? That makes sense for everybody? The second half of the Chapter 9 notes that I want to show you, where is it? Right here. There we go. Find that page right there. And again, if you haven't watched this video yet, make sure you watch it. It's not terribly long. But it'll have what you need to finish out Chapter 9 and do the electron configurations. But the minimum amount of material that you need to write any electron configuration comes right here from the S block, the P block, the D block, and the F block. The number that's in front of the letter just comes from the row number for S and P. But remember, D block is behind by 1 row. So if you're in the 4th row, that's 3D. If you're in the 6th row, that's 5D. Okay? F block is behind by 2 rows. So as you're practicing it, what I would recommend, as you go through the notes, you'll have a periodic table filled out with all of the subshells like that. Okay? Do that the first time going through it, but as you're doing electron configurations, it's not very helpful for you to be just automatically looking at this to do all your electron configurations for you. That just sort of does it for you. Okay? On a quiz or exam, you're going to have a blank periodic table. So what will be much more helpful is if you practice writing electron configurations with sort of just this minimum information here so that you're able to do it. Okay? But after a little bit of practice, I don't think we'll have too much trouble with it. Okay? Another thing I want you to be aware of in the Mastering Chemistry. Oh boy, I have to sign on here. Hold on. Come on. There we go. Okay, here we go. I'm going to add a little note to it here, but the question in this very last one, it's right there, but people tend to miss it. All the other ones, it has you start at the very beginning and write electron configuration. This one wants only the valence electrons. Okay, so that's the very last one. Anybody remember? Anybody that's watched the video? How do you find the valence electrons? Well, it's everything after the last noble gas. Okay, and what you'll do if you have a whole big long electron configuration, I've got one right here. Okay, for instance, one like this one right here. Okay, to find the valence electrons, really all you need to do is look for the largest n. N is that number at the beginning of each section. So you just find the one with the largest n number, and those electrons are the valence electrons, and that's it. Okay, so here's another example. We got 7 and then 5 and 6 and 7, but only those ones in the largest n are the valence electrons. Okay, so if I remember to, I'll add a little note in the description right here that all this one is asking for is just the valence electrons. Okay, so be aware of that. Okay. Did anybody else run into any difficulties or anything? Did the video work for everybody? Anybody have troubles with the video? I put the videos on YouTube now, so that should be working just fine for everybody. You can watch them on your phone, your tablet, stuff like that too. We've tested that, and that works just fine. All right. Well, let's start chapter 10.